YouTube, we are in the top 8 of the new selection pack tournament. This is the most impactful pack to the game. I could not believe it. Adventures are clapping. They're all over the place. Floowandereeze are dominating. Let's hop into the top 8. You can also join if you're subscribed on Twitch or joined on YouTube. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Pot of D, no hand traps for the Dimension Shifter. Now, you might be thinking, you can't use Dimension Shifter with the Pot of D in the graveyard. Well, yes, you can if you grab the Stry, banish the Pot of D, and now you can use the Dimension Shifter. We're going to use the Rise of Mega Monarch to be doing what exactly? We're going to Rabina, add back to the hand, Stry, come back to the hand, and we can now Dimension Shifter. Monarch to do nothing. Kick weight. And now everything sent to the graveyard is banished. And we got the Dreaming Town to summon during the opponent's turn. Grabbing the Adventure Right. Right of Adventure. Does not matter that our cards are banished. We are fine. We're going to summon the token. Fateful Adventure is going to be grabbing the Draco back as a trigger effect. Searching for the Griffin. You can't discard the Draco back here. Only if sent to the graveyard will it reattach onto a monster on the field. We are under Dimension Shifter here. Wandering Griffin Rider, we now have Omni Negates. We're going to Draco back, return any card in the field back to the hand, returning the Ryza back, flipping up the Dreaming Town, and the Griffin's not going to negate. We're going to negate the Rabina because we had nothing to Chainlink block. So how could we have stopped this? I'm going to tell you. On the previous turn, he added the Stry and the Rabina back to the hand that was banished. Had he left the Stry banished, he could summon Rabina, Chainlink 1 Rabina, Chainlink 2 Stry, then the Rabina cannot be negated by the Griffin, but then maybe the Griffin would have negated the Dreaming Town instead, to be fair. Goodbye to Rabina. Normal summoning. Shokan into Krishron Hulk. You can normal summon under using the adventure cards. You just can't get Nibiru'd. You can get Nibiru. Nibiru tribute the entire field. You can't activate the effects of a normal summon monster. As long as you don't do that, you're okay. But it could activate in the graveyard. Normal summoning the Stry. Stry banish a card from either player's graveyard. Banishing the Shifter. So if we have another Shifter, we will be able to use it. Adding back Rabina. Rabina will be the additional summon. Rabina is going to grab the Toucan. Toucan could grab the Dreaming Town back to our hand. And we're going to tribute for Rise of Mega Monarch. Not activating the Ryza. There's no card in either player's graveyard to be returning back. 3K to the face. Fateful Adventure, searching for the Water Enchantress to then discard the Water Enchantress. The Griffin can now not be searched. We're going to Sword Soul Emergence, grab the Long Yon, banish the Water Enchantress, come forth, Right of Erzmir. We're going to be normal summoning the Taya. Taya banish from the graveyard, a Worm or Sword Soul, summon a token. Turning itself into level 3 to make a level 7 Yazi. Untargetable Yazi will pop a card in the field. And by destroying itself, it will then activate in the graveyard to summon Mo Yi. Or we're not playing Mo Yi, so we summon a Vishuda instead. This is going to be the Adventure Tenyi, so there's no Mo Yi in the deck. Banishing Ashuna to come forth and summon Adhara. Adhara killing itself to get into the graveyard so we get banish. To grab Ashuna. Ashuna can now be discarded with Long Yun to now make a level 10 synchro. We are locked in a worm type monsters only, so we cannot make a Baron to floor. We're making Chang Ying. If the card is banished, we'll activate the Chang Ying to banish a card on the field and in the graveyard. Vishuda banishing itself to return a card in the field. We're going to Nibiru tribute the entire field, but you have a Nibiru in the graveyard. Negate and banish the Nibiru in the grave, negating the Nibiru in the hand. Negate. Oh my. Did not trigger the Chang Ying because now there's nothing in the graveyard to banish the Chang Ying. Chang Ying cannot banish the Dreaming Town unless there was another card in the grave to banish. Set Maxi. Nah, that's not going to do it. I'm out. All right. We are dealing with Ash Blossom. Now, people were saying in the Floowandereeze deck type channel that Ash Blossoming a duality is a good Ash. I don't think so. What? Why would Ash on duality be good? Are you out of your freaking mind? You Ash Rabina, we good. This is the new stuff. This is brand new. We're going to Rite of Air's Mirror. Ash Blossom cannot stop that. Ash can stop the Faithful Adventure. This would be a good Ash to stop before he summons the Griffin Rider. Cross out Designates. Negates. Now, if he plays Nibiru, he's not going to be able to negate Nibiru. With the Griffin Rider, he will be able to negate Nibiru, though. He's not committed to the normal summon. The play he's committing to right now is going to be the one we showcased in the Adventure Tenyi. You need the Rite of Air's Mirror plus the Red Rose Dragon. That's going to be a big play. Now we can negate Nibiru, not that we have performed 5 summons yet. We're going to trade the Wandering Griffin Rider Omni Negate for another Negate. This is going to be Baron to floor. He's popping off. He's winning a single turn. It's done. Rox Rose is going to be triggered off of the Red Rose being sent to the graveyard for a Synchro, grabbing the Basil Shoot, summon the Red Rose from the graveyard onto the field, making Crystron Hulk. Hulk summon, get negated, negate the Nibiru with the Baron to floor. I do not think so. Baron to floor, negate and destroy. He's scooping. He knows he's done. And just like that, Floowandereeze losing to Adventure Tenyi. New top tier Adventure Tenyi. Come forth. Grass is greener, not going to be usable. Crystron Hulking, no hand trap to stop this. True King is here. BFD. Triggering, or not triggering, we're just going to activate the Faithful Adventure to grab the Water Enchantress, grabbing the Rite of Adventure, summoning a token. Now there's a token in the field that we could use with the Draco back. Now it's gone. Now we cannot. Borreload Savage Dragon is... Now we got negate, and all monster effects in the field are negated, and you cannot attack. That's a scoop. Justinian taking a game 1 victory. Let's go. You got to go first. Now I get to go first. Both players having grass. Dead. What if he mills his deck so much that grass will now be usable to an effective amount of mill? We'll see. Grass milling a decent amount of cards. It was not that bad. Water Enchantress grabbing the Rite of Air's Mirror. We're going to be summoning a token, but I think our Faithful Adventure is gone. Yup, it got milled. It's gone. No Faithful Adventure. We're going to grab the Eschatos and the Leveneer. Leveneer could pop 2 cards in the field, non-targeting. Eschatos is going to declare Warrior, destroying all warriors on the field. Fogblade, negate. Can we follow up with the Leveneer? Do we have enough? We don't. Going in, does not activate the Raiden. Summons Raiden, does not activate. It cannot activate. We're going to Grass because he used the Rite of Air's Mirror, so the Raiden could not activate. The Rusty is going to grab the Fogblade, sending the Ragged Gloves. Call by the Grave, banishing the Ragged Gloves before it banishes as a cost to send a Phantom Knight from the deck to the grave. Tour Guide into the Graph, come forth and make Levier. Levier summon Cloak from the Banish pile back on the fields. Boost up the Rusty. Huge Rusty, 3,900 Rusty. 4,400 attack Rusty. Big Rusty. Masquerena Alongside the Rusty, we're going to summon a Barber. Barber is going to be burning. What? 900 KW? What? Okay. Did you calculate lethal with that? What's going on? Did you need to deal that 900 to get exact lethal? Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn not discarding to return a card in the field back to the deck. We're going to make Access Code Talker. This is it. We are flaming on. Boost up, 5,300 attack, and that is game. He got first place of the last Meta Weekly. First place. First place. And being the Chad that he is, after getting first place, he didn't even change his deck, I don't think. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Is he playing adventure cards? Probably not. Not even playing adventure cards. What the hell? That's nuts. Wait, he is. He did change it. He did change. Okay. But he's not Cherubini sending the Water Enchantress, which is interesting. Chaos Ruler banishing a Light and Dark to resummon itself from the graveyard. The Valkyria is going to send a Fairy Tale Snow. Now he has, from the graveyard, flip any card you control face down, which the Droplet's not going to do well against. Activate Endanger, not going to negate with the Baron to Floor, which would destroy it. Special Summoning, we're waiting on the negates. Making Cherubini. Going to send the Water Enchantress. Water Enchantress banish. Maybe we're going to negate here. That's a negate. Negate. Chain Droplet. Negate the negate and negate Baron de Floor. Both are negated. We still have the Fox Snow in the graveyard, the Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard, to flip a card on the field face down. When do we flip down? When do we do it? When's the time? We can't flip down the token. We can't flip down links. Lethal Adventure, come to me, Wandering Griffin Rider. Now it's too late. Draco back, activating onto the token. Come forth and summon Griffin Rider. The Snow would activate on a separate chain link after being summoned, which would be negatable by the Griffin Rider. Guess nothing worth flipping. The Snow could go even with the Griffin Rider, though. We're going to Draco back, return the Chaos Ruler back to the extra deck, but when it leaves the field, it gets banished instead. Rusty. This full play is protected by the Wandering Griffin Rider. The Sir is going to summon the Cherubini back onto the field. The Rusty's going to send a Phantom Knight, grab a Fog Blade, which will be a negate for next turn. Shokan into Union Carrier, which will lock him out of the extra deck by equipping the Buster Destruction Sword. Ragged Gloves send to Scales. Boots banish, search, trigger the Scales, come forth and summon. And where are we going from there? Now we're going to Fairy Tale Snow. Are we going to Wandering Griffin Rider? The thing is about the Wandering Griffin Rider is that the Fairy Tale Snow could be used more than once per turn. So if the Wandering Griffin Rider were to negate and destroy, the Fairy Tale Snow could do it again. I'll do it again. So he just lets it happen. Okay, fine. Fine, flip it down. I don't care. I'll save my Griffin Rider for something that's more of a hard once per turn. Negate, negate, can't use extra deck, and negate. Negate. Ooh, we could chain Fairy Tale Snow to banish the Mecha Phantom Beast Aurora Dawn, dodging the negates, and then he could maybe pop the Buster Destruction Sword so he could actually use the extra deck, or pop the Wandering Griffin Rider. The Wandering Griffin Rider is not going to be able to negate the Snow that's going to prevent the Aurora Dawn from being negated. You understand that? Focus. Doing exactly that. Very good. Beautiful. We're popping. We are popping. And what are we popping? What did we want to pop? What was so good about this pop? Taking out the Rusty, which was equipped with the Buster Dragon. Griffin Rider is going to negate and destroy the Snow. Then Snow, with not enough materials in the graveyard, will be able to do it again. You need 7 cards from the hand, field, or grave to summon the Snow. We're now down to 1 negate. We had Lock out of extra deck. Negate, negate, negates. 4 disruptions, now down to 1. He's popping off. Shen. Anything sent from the field to the graveyard will be banished instead. We're going to not only negate the Shen, but we're going to prevent it from attacking. We're going to banish 7 to come forth its own Fairy Tale Snow. Snow is not going to flip a card on the field face down. Simply taking out the Torn Scales. Was that a good play with the Snow? Now, we have 41 cards in our deck. We're going to simply mill 3. Mill 3. Not a good mill. Union Carrier equipping a Sir, linking off Union Carrier and the Danger into the Nightmare Unicorn, which will trigger the Sir to summon Cherubini onto the field. Come for Benny. Bro, is this lethal? Oh, no. He can't Snow. He doesn't have enough. That's it. That's Axis Code Talker lethal. We're going to Fog Blade, come forth and summon Rusty back on the field. This is nuts. This is crazy. This is the new adventure. Let's go. That is a scoop. Scoops it up. Get ready for the rest of the top 8. Holy moly. 60 card deck versus 60 card deck. What are their deck names? I don't know. How many engines do their decks have? This Shuda is here. The problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! And making money is that it could be difficult to get you to fall in love with the deck, which is how they would make money. And then once you fall in love with the deck, you stick with that deck that you fell in love with that they already made their money on. So what they have to do is release engines like Hulk, Rorodon, Water Enchantress, maybe tempt you with some Zodiac to put into your loving deck to make more money off of you. Negate, pop 2, negate, negate. Can we break this? Adventure Tenyi versus Adventure Tenyi, which this is possibly the best deck of the format now. This is the new best deck. I think this is better than Sword Soul, likely. Blackout, wiping out the full field. The Griffin Rider can only negate if there's a token. Some YouTubers say Konami doesn't balance around money. Yeah, they don't balance only around money. But if you take the only out and say that they don't balance around money, that's ridiculous. You could argue that the TCG has a more competitive mindset with its balancing, but it definitely balances around money, whether you like it or not. Would the game be better if they didn't balance around money? Of course it would. But, you know, I don't even want to say it's unavoidable because Japan made a lot of choices that wasn't really money-based. I think leaving the Adventure Engine at 3 in TCG, I think that was a money move. That's money. That's money. Valor, negate, Taya. And because the Adventure Engine is cheaper in Japan, Japan was more likely to just say, screw it, limited. We don't care. No one's going to say, what about my investment? No, it's cheap in Japan. In TCG, the Adventure Engine, I think was upwards to $500. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was $300 to $500. Maybe it's still in that range. Vishuda, banish, return a card on the field back. We are going to, or no, we banish the Vishuda with the Call of the Grave. Wiping out the field, lethal damage. I mean, honestly, the duel was lost by turn 1. What really else is there to say? And that's the reason why they have Maxi, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying it's good that they have Maxi or bad, but does Maxi make games more wacky? Yes. And also in their eyes, it could be justification to have more wacky combos in the game. Griffin Rider, when the heck are we Ash Blossoming? It would just get called by the grave anyway. Now the Wonder Griffin Rider will be able to negate the Ash. We have our Christian Hulk play will be protected. We're also going to climb this Rider into a Baron de Fleur. Baron de Floor is going to trigger the Rose Dragon. Negate. But we have Combo the Grave or Baron de Floor to negate. We're going to keep the Baron de Floor negates. Banishing. Let's swap up the player scores, by the way. And if you don't believe me, I mean, you probably already believe me that the TCG cares more about competitiveness. Japan would run a YCS, a best of one YCS with no side deck. TCG would never get away with that. I think the players would have an uproar, but Japan, they just don't care. Get Aurora Dawning. Grandmaster grabbing the Emergence. Emergence grab Protos. Protos lock your opponent out of water? What do you think? Water? We can't use light monsters. Light monsters are going to now be negated. Dark. Dark or water. Dark cannot be special summoned. Light monsters cannot be activated. Baron de Floor negate. 9 pillar negates. You did it to me, bro. Okay, it's whoever goes first wins. Just draw Max C. I heard that's what you need. Just do that. Woo. Okay, we're going first with the crossout designates. Oh, that sucked. Holy shite. Well, now he's probably not going to win. Water Enchantress. You could cross out, banish Water Enchantress to negate their Water Enchantress. We might negate the Rite of Adventure instead. Cross out, negate. Let's go. Negate. Don't you love cross-out designate? No adventure engine for you. We still got a great hand. Vashuda, Red Rose. We could blackout wipe that out, though. He's going to return the Taya back to the hand. Okay. And Draco back, returning another card back to the hand. Stripping the field to make a Crystron Hulk. I loved that. That was great. Instead of committing into a Baron de Floor, which would have been blacked out, he makes a Crystron Hulk after returning 2 cards on the field, but he did not return the correct card. Had he returned both the back row, wouldn't that have been better? Why monster then back row? Monster then back row. I guess the Draco back would have been popped by the blackout. Okay. You know, I guess it has its merits. Yeah, 50-50 on the back row. It's just unfortunate. Not imperm negating the Taya. Because by banishing the token, the token creator, the blackout, if you negate the Taya, the token still gets summoned. So negating with imperm on the Taya would have been a mistake. We have Crystron Hulk jumping off the field, banishing itself to come forth and summon Danglong. Danglong is here. We are activating the Grandmaster to negate. Negating the Grandmaster. Negating with Grandmaster. Did not use Grandmaster to search. Vashuda sent to the graveyard with Taya. Taya, spin the Danglong back to the extra deck. Now, Moonlit Chill. If your opponent special summons a monster, discard this card, target that monster, negates effects, and then it will also take damage equal to the original attack when it leaves the field. So we are ready to negate with the Moonlit Chill. We can't stop that. Grandmaster being spun back to the extra deck. Turn 4 in this format? What the heck is going on? Oh, Lion. What can we do besides set? That is the only play we could do. We have no play whatsoever. Ripping into a Max C. No Tenyi in the graveyard to activate. The defense is too large on that O Lion. We still have our full combo. We could normal summon and make Crystron Hulk. We're going to Foolish Burial, send the Water Enchantress. He's got Crossout Designate. You did it to me, I do it to you, yes? Negate the right. If we have another right in the deck, then we can do it. Yes. Negate. Crossout Designate is maybe too good to not play in a best of one game. With no side deck, you need it for the mirror match. Max C ending his Crystron Hulk. Can we agree that that was a healthy Max C? This dude was about to pop off with 100 summons with Crystron Hulk. That Max C was good. And good balance. But we're going to try it again. We'll do it again. We have Imperm to negate the Hulk. Come forth. No, remove Max C. Now, this chain link blocks an Ash, but the impermanence does not get chain link blocked. It does not need to be the direct chain link afterward to negate. 9 Pillar, not going to be usable. He could still summon Auroradon because the token. Oh, God. Should he have waited? Oh, no. Damn, that's kind of like negating Taya when it's banishing Blackout. He's going to get the token anyway. Oh, no. Oh, Lion from the deck. One misstep and they pop off. They go all the way. This is it. I feel a surrender coming. Let's go. Dude added a Bien, Earth of the Yang Zing. You what, mate? We're going to Ashuna, summon Vishuda. We are now going to make a Chang Ying. Chang Ying, if a card is banished, will banish a card in the field and in the graveyard. Dang Long, special summon the Chiwin. Vishuda, Chiwin, making the Grandmaster, which could trigger the Chang Ying, but not right now it can. Well, actually it could. On summon, it could have banished a Sword Soul from the deck. If he wanted to do that. Did he miss lethal by not doing that? Did he not have a Sword Soul to banish? Banish a Sword Soul card from your deck, triggering the Chang Ying, banish the face down, then you win, right? Negate. Chang Ying. Banish. And just like that, TTK with what we're assuming to be the new best deck of Master Duel. Adventure Tenyi, Red Rose Tenyi, whatever you want to call it. It's not a Sword Soul deck. Let's go. Oh, wait. Is this Eldlich versus Eldlich? No. Let's go. Now, next week, we're going to have a $1,000 tournament. $1,000 tournament. It's going to be big. The big 1K. The best decks are coming together. Big $1,000 tourney next week on Sunday, 4 p.m. EST. We're still continuing this tournament. The top 8 players of this tournament won an invite to this tournament. Get ready for that. Holy moly! I had this emote get removed from Twitch due to sexual conduct. It's a true story. Tomorrow, we're also going to be doing another tournament with the new cards, and I'm also going to be playing on the ladder to get Diamond 1 with maybe Floowandereeze. Maybe Adventure Tenyi, that might be too boring. Maybe Adventure Tenyi will probably play Floowandereeze the most. We'll get Floowandereeze. Damn, what? Alan has won game 1. Let's go. Skip the last game. I think we're going to do that. We have to do that. We're actually behind the tournament somehow. All right, game 3. Who liked game 2? That was my favorite duel among these two decks. May the best Eldlich win. Oh, set 4. Almost as good as set 5. He probably thought a while if he should set his 5th card or not. Chose to not do so. Randomly sniping the Dogmatic of Punishment. Be gone. Eldlich the Golden Lord is here. We have no Haquero, no Dragonite's Prison to banish. Double set. Grabbing Haquero for another attempt to banish the Eldlich from the graveyard, but we got to get that Eldlich in the graveyard to begin with. Oh, you left your Eldlich exposed, and you just lost your Eldlich. How careless of you. Ought to be digging for Lava Golem. Too bad we only have one monster on the field to tribute over. We're going to grab, there can only be one zombie on the field again. That's a fun card for the mirror match. We're going to Dragonize Prison, steal the opponent's Eldlich, banishing that Eldlich and the opposing Eldlich and having no counter to that. Just like that, he wins. That's it. 3 Eldlich banished. He got all 3. Let's go. It's over. It's over. It's finally over. We just gotta wait 20 more turns and then it will be over. Oh, I think it's over. It's finally over. What if he doesn't attack? Why would he not attack? Thank you. Clyde Strife, you did it. You are mad lad. You are in the top 4. Congratulations. Double evenly matched. Oh my Jesus. This is what I love about No Sign Deck, is that this is truly a surprise. Surprise evenly matched. Rusty is popping the token to pop the token, so he cannot put a Draco back on his token, I guess, right? I think that makes sense. And now you cannot special summon. And I'm unaffected by all other card effects. We're gonna pot a P, banish 6, start digging for the out. Is it GG? It does play around evenly matched, you're right. You're right. That's very smart. How do you play around evenly matched? He just played around it. He just played. He's like, what could beat me? Evenly match. Evenly match. Everything gets banished but the token. Holy shite. That was smart. That was actually smart. W. You make your opponent banish their own Rongo. Do you understand that? Rongo gets banished with evenly matched. Evenly matched counters Rongo if there's a token on the field. Great. Great. Let's go. All right. We're going to go for only banishing 3. Just 3. Banishing the Galaxy Tomahawk, Almirage, and probably a second Auroradon. We're going to chain the Griffin Rider to the Tenyi. It's very important to do this. Otherwise, you cannot summon the Griffin Rider. You have to have no monsters on the field, and you have to have no effect monsters on the field to summon the Tenyi. We haven't committed to our normal summon yet. Now Chow Fang's going to turn off the ability to... He didn't even use his normal summon. He cannot activate light monsters. Light monsters, no activate. Yeah, he out. He got the heck out. He's just like, nope. Now we're going to have to deal with Ash Blossom. How do we deal with the Ash Blossom? Cherubini could send the Water Enchantress. Going to send the Graph instead. Do you Ash Blossom the Graph or do you Ash Blossom the Rusty? He's going to Ash the Graph, stopping the summon of the Rusty, and there's nothing Jax could do about it. Now what kind of play do we have? We have Blackout, Pop 2. We're not going to call by the Grave. We don't really have any big plays anyway, so let him maxi preemptively. He's going to send the Droplet to the graveyard to protect the Cherubini. We have Pop 2. We have Omni Negates. We have Banish in the Grave and Negates. We got lots of plays. Sending the Water Enchantress. Now, you want to use Call by the Grave early. Do not wait. If you wait for the Water Enchantress, there's nothing to banish. You have to banish preemptively. Normal summon the boots. Into Rusty we go. Do we negate with 9 Pillar? Yes, we do. 9 Pillar, negate. Negate, return, Rusty. And we're going to destroy our Yang Zing. Yang Zing's going to activate, come forth and summon Chewin. Boots, banish, and search for a Fog Blade. We have a negate. That's going to trigger the scales. Big enough to take out the Chewin. Okay, pretty good. Sending the Buster to the graveyard to grab a Cloak in the grave. Cloak, banish, negates. Held on to that Ash. He had so many opportunities to Ash, 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 Ash. Now we Ash. We have a negate and just a scale. 1 negate. Max C. Pass. Bullish into the Water Enchantress. Or Sir. Okay. Summon Cherubini. Max C. Cherubini could send the Water Enchantress. That could be very good. Moonlit Chill is not going to be able to negate the cost of the Cherubini. And it will only be summonable on the summon of the monster. Your opponent special summons a monster, then you can negate it. We have double Fog Blade negates. Vishuda can not only return a card in the field back to the hand, but we could also use the Blackout to get poppin'. Negating Vishuda, main phase 2, Monk. Use the Vishuda, return a card in the field back. Returning the Fog Blade. Moonlit Chill being used for Kristron Hauk. Incredibly well played by TTK. Holding on to his Blackout. Making a Roar Dawn. He's popping off. Nothing could stop him now. Through double Fog Blade, a single Vishuda. He used Fog Blade to stop Vishuda from attacking. Was that correct? I don't know what was up with that, yeah? We have Baron de Floor, Omni negates, Blackout, wiping out the fields. Adhara, add back Vishuda, and end the turn. Baron de Floor, negate any play he would want to make. Griffin could use up his once while face up negate. Now, in the graveyard, does he have anything banishable? Let's see. He's got Fog Blade that could summon a Phantom Knight that he does not have in the graveyard. He's got Fog Blade in the field to now negate the Baron de Floor. We are going to negate the Baron de Floor from returning itself back in the extra deck to then summon a monster from the grave. Now, what could we do? We're going to junk Jet Synchron, discard Vishuda, come forth and summon into Herald Arclight. Herald Arclight is going to make it so any card sent from the hand or the deck to the graveyard is banished instead. Ripping into the Boots. Boots can go from field to grave and not be banished. Water Enchantress off the top of the deck. What a freaking rip. Ripping into Rite of Adventure, playing the Fateful and a token. We're going to activate the Fateful, grab the Griffin, discard the evenly matched, come forth and summon, Omni negate Griffin, triggering the Adventure, grabbing Draco back, returning the Fog Blade back to the hand, using Vishuda to return the monster back to the hand. Open field, lethal damage, and just like that, TTK defeating the champion of last week with Adventure Tenyi advancing to the grand finals.